Stop making noise. We're not live yet.
Sorry, that's my bad.
God, unprofessional. All right, Rob, I'm going to play music, and then you can make noise.
Okay, I'll hang out patiently.
God, you're finally being professional after all these years.
It took me like 5. We got here, though.
What? I understand what you're saying. No.
There it is.
Let's hear it.
Well, let's hear it.
Talk to us. Uh-oh.
Beadle and Decker, taking on sports talk like no one else. Michelle Beadle.
I'm just helping. I'm helping America one by one.
Cody Decker.
I 100% believe in revenge. Revenge is a great thing.
Back to the sports.
Back and ready for more.
Every time I tune them out, they pull me back in.
It's Beadle and Decker. Here's Michelle and Cody.
Hello, everyone. Yes, indeed. It is a Friday. And yes, it is sunny, beautiful. Well, it's actually overcast, beautiful Southern California you're getting me from. This Beadle and Decker time. I'm glad you're joining me right here on the YouTube channel. Maybe you're joining us live on Twitch. And yes, next week, we're really going to do it, Harry. We're really doing it. We're going to be live on, hopefully, Instagram as well. And we like you guys to like, share, and subscribe wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And, of course, we are live right now on a Friday. And, of course, a Friday, no Michelle Beadle. You get me, Cody Decker. And, of course, a cast and crew of the greatest basically rotation you could ever ask for. You know, yesterday, Keith Rosario. On Thursday, Tuesday, we had Tyrone Johnson. And you know what? It seems like Friday has become a really wonderful place for a good friend of mine. He is my former co-host, as you've known for years and years and years on the BetMGM network. He is a three-time broadcaster of the year in this wonderful state of South Carolina. And he's just an altogether handsome, sweet, and adorable man with a wonderful head of hair. The one and only Rob Brown. Robert, how is life, you handsome bastard?
And a guy who won't shut the hell up when the intro timer is trying to roll. I'm spectacular. I'm back on a Friday with my dog, Cody Decker. Now that we are allowed to make noise, I promise you the next hour and however many minutes we decide to go over are going to be mediocre at least.
At the very least, a very specific amount of mediocre. But here's the thing. It is a relatively slow sports day. It just is. How do I know that? Because Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel are at the top of every single sports list that I can find right now. And I can't stress enough, I don't care who's sleeping with who or not sleeping with who. Not my business. Anyways, let's move on to the next subject, which is actually more important. Rob Brown, how many bucket list concerts do you actually have? Because my guy, I am so short on them now. And when I say I'm so short on them, I'm one even less short now. Because your boy, last night at the fabulous, and yes, I still call it the Great Western Forum. I'm sorry, Keith, you're not getting your name on this list. The Great Western Forum. Bruce Springsteen live in concert, dude. Little Stevie Van Zandt going to town. And here's another name that you might not have realized for this particular tour has also kind of joined the E Street Band. My guy, third guitarist, Tom Morello of Rage Against the Machine was out there all night long. Dude, it's one of the best shows I've ever seen. Yes, it is an extremely political show, but a political, hopeful show. I can't stress enough, I loved seeing Bruce. A ton of hits, but a ton of deep cuts, especially in the last 20 years of his most recent albums like High Hopes and albums like that. Just, oh man, bunch of stuff from The Rising, which was incredible. The performance of My City in Ruin had the just tears flowing from anybody, including your boy. My God, dude, what a show. Bruce, 76 years old, just still out there dominating that stage. And dude, I'll tell you my favorite part of the show in just a minute, but you're a Bruce guy. What do you got? What are your thoughts?
I mean, way up on the list. I'd like Morello a lot more if he'd leave the politics out of music. I can't believe Rage Against the Machine getting political. I don't know why that bothers me so much. I've been carrying that around.
It is really amazing, isn't it? By the way, I do remember Tom Morello tweeting, and I'm trying to remember what his name was. He was like a younger Republican back in the day who tweeted, who messaged, like did a thing that was like, hey, you go to the gym a lot. What do you like to listen to? Rage Against the Machine is usually my go-to. And Tom Morello's like, are you not listening to any of the lyrics? You're not listening to any of the lyrics.
It was Paul Ryan, the old Republican Speaker of the House, who did it like he had like a workout picture in some magazine, and he was complaining about Rage Against the Machine getting political. And it was every now and then somebody says something or does something so stupid, not necessarily malicious, not necessarily evil, but just really, really dumb, that it's at the point that I have recognized that one of the few great unifying forces remaining on planet Earth is when all of us come together to recognize and realize that like one person needs to be dunked on collaboratively. Like all of us become Brawny and Braun, just throwing the assist for the oop to hang balls and faces on people who say something real dumb on the internet. And that, I have to tell you, was like one of the top 3 everybody dunking on a guy moments of recent memory.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. But listen, the show last night was incredible. Bruce really, it even had kind of an old school feel because he actually closed the show with "This Land Is Your Land" it was like a really like old, like it was like going to an old Bob Dylan show in the 1960s, my guy. It really had that feel. It was just a really good emotional show. He tore the house down by playing Wrecking Ball. Dude, when they came out, here's the thing. They did a very different type of encore. They all came up and, did their thing. And instead of didn't even bother leaving the stage, they just put their instruments back on and then started the encore and hit a couple of, absolute jams of Bruce Springsteen tunes. But dude, what I'm telling you, even like the Clarence Clemens tribute at the end, because they played 10th Avenue Freeze Out, which, dude, that like I was just hoping I'd get like a 10th Avenue Freeze Out E Street Band like jam at the end of the show, and we did. Darkness on the Edge of Town just had everybody going in a way that like I don't even remember seeing a crowd kind of get into it. But for me, man, it was The Ghost of Tom Joad was a duet between both Bruce and Tom Morello. And when I say Tom Morello goes ham on that guitar in a way that only Tom Morello can go ham on that guitar. It was like watching Picasso paint like all of his best work. It was like watching the Sistine Chapel being decorated for you in front of your eyes in real time. It was astonishing, dude.
Yeah, I have no doubt. He's way up on the list. It's not quite in the same stratosphere, but Bryan Adams and Pat Benatar will be here in Greenville, South Carolina in a couple of months.
That's a good show, dude.
That's going to be
that's going to be a badass show.
I'm really excited. And I'm a Bryan Adams guy. And to those of you who are judging me, right here, I won't hear a word about it, but I'm also going to keep it a buck. As a kid who grew up to music that involved a whole lot of electric guitar, I'm kind of more excited about Pat Benatar if we can keep it. I love Bryan Adams. Like, I'm here for some Bryan Adams, but seeing Pat Benatar is going to be like way up on the memory list for your boy.
Yeah, dude, that's gonna be a good show, man. Fired up for you. Now I'm really down to only a few bands left on the old bucket list. Here's my list, and I realized I added another one to the list, even though I know for a fact the show, if I ever got a chance to see it, would probably be terrible. Let's start with the one that we know wouldn't be terrible, and I'm gonna try and see them this summer because they are playing at the Sphere. Metallica. Metallica is very much a band that's on my bucket list that you've seen twice.
I did. Now, in fairness, one of the times I saw them was when they were on the Saint Anger tour, and they really heavily leaned into the Saint Anger album, which it's fine.
I actually like that album. I actually like that album. I think everyone's really cruel to it. The snare drum's stupid. We agree on that.
I do not fault or judge people who like the album because it's not bad.
It's not a bad
it's
album.
Just it's not their best to me. And this is weird spot. Actually, I'm glad we're here because I'll ask your opinion while we're having the conversation. I've had this talk because one of the great things about Greenville is that we're not a big mega city, but we are a big city. So we get a lot of like B-list stars on their retirement tours, right?
Yes.
Like we're not getting Taylor Swift in town. We're not getting the mega stars, but we get a lot. We had Bon Jovi come through last year, and I went. And the wife and I ended up on opposite sides of a conversation because she was like, man, like these guys are just so old and it's just not the same in your face anymore. And I'm like, yeah, but like I went to go so I could say I saw Bon Jovi before he took too much bad medicine and slipped on to the big stage in the sky or whatever. There to me is some level of magic. There is an immense amount of appreciation when I get to see a show from someone they've been in the game 40, 50 years. And you know that maybe this isn't their farewell tour, but like their next one is. There is some nostalgia in that. But when that does happen, and this is where I feel like maybe this is a shitty take from an audience member, Deck, when I go see a band like that that's been around for a long time, like play the hits, man. Play the classics. Play the stuff that hooked me into your B-side stuff. Don't play the B-side stuff. Like I can't, when I go see Bon Jovi, yeah, I want to hear Living on a Prayer. I want to hear Bad Medicine. I want to hear the entire Slippery When Wet catalog. Like I want to hear the stuff that made it fun to be a fan of yours back in the day. I get it. If you're still at it and you're still fresh and you're pumping out new albums that you want to put your new stuff out front and sell it. But when I go see a band like that, man, like, yeah, hook me on Enter Sandman. Like play me what got me into this.
Of course.
And then we can experiment later.
I get it. By the way, Bruce did both. You gotta understand. Bruce played for 3 hours last night.
That was going to be my question, was how long did he go? Because I
3 hours, my guy. Yeah,
I saw back in like 1996, my old man took me to see the Eagles on the Hell Freezes Over tour. And brother, I love the Eagles. I find beauty in their simplicity. And of course, if you know the saga of the Eagles breakup and them getting back together and unironically calling it the Hell Freezes Over tour, that was incredible. And the Eagles, I think we were like the third or fourth stop on their tour. It was in Biloxi, Mississippi. And we were the third or fourth stop on that tour. And they played for like 4 hours on that show. And I got told afterwards, because I was like 12 years old at the time, I got told after that those first few shows were effectively them playing everything that they would play in other shows just to kind of get the kinks out in front of a live audience. The Eagles came here to Greenville like 3 years ago. And obviously, a handful of the original members were dead. So there were some fill-ins like, I'm trying to remember who it was. Oh, we had Vince, what's his name? Vince Gill showed up because he's a member of the Eagles now and that. So it wasn't entirely the OG Eagles, but it was before Henley died. Joe Walsh was there, et cetera, et cetera. And dude, they played for like 3.5 hours with like 1 10-minute break in the middle. And it blew me away because I was only 39, 38 when that happened. And even I was tired watching these old sumbitches run around the stage as much as they did. I don't demand that every artist does a 3+ hour show, but I respect the hell out of it when they do.
I completely agree. And by the way, this 3 hour show, like the show had a theme. Like it was a very, very specific theme type of show. It was like almost like a sermon throughout the entire night. It was really well done. It was really well orchestrated. And by the way, there was no gaps in between. It was just like jam after jam after jam after jam. What a show it was for me. Oh, by the way, the other band on that list, on that bucket list, hear me out on this. I know it would be bad. But it's that same thing you just said. Like, so I could say I saw it, right? I have no doubt a Stevie Nicks show now would be terrible. I know it would be. I don't care. I'll go. I want to see it.
I saw Stevie Nicks about 1.5 years ago. My wife is a massive Fleetwood Mac fan. All right. On the other side of this wall is her office. This is mine. Hers is on the other side. The walls are covered in pink or in Fleetwood stuff. The walls are covered in stuff. Out on a bookshelf in our living room, there are like 4 books written by and about Stevie Nicks. She calls Stevie Nicks my fairy godmother. She loves this woman, and I get it because honestly, so do I. The level of audacity, the balls on this lady, to sing a song about banging a new guy in the band and make your ex-husband play guitar on that song about banging the guy you left him for. That, like, if a dude pulled that off, we would be talking crap about that guy and the balls he had for years to come. Love Stevie Nicks. I had the same thought. I'm like, oh man, this is going to be rough. Buddy, the pipes still work on Stevie Nicks. Now she's not as dancey, flowy, spinning circles with the big sleeves around the stage as she used to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty good show. Like, she's got a young band around her. They play, and she does a bunch of her solo stuff. She does a lot of her Fleetwood stuff. She does a lot of the duos that she did with like James Taylor back in the day, and she has other people sing. I would very much suggest if you get a chance to go see Stevie Nicks, you do it, because she's still got it, dog.
I'm listening. I'm just assuming it would be bad because my mom said she saw her a couple of years ago and she just kind of mostly stood there and talked and just did flowy arms the whole night.
Yeah, it's not like she's not running around the stage like she did back in the day.
Of course.
And she does do a lot of the spin around in the microphone with the arms out, so like the trinkets swirl around. Mm-hmm. But for me, like, yeah, I'm not gonna get prime 1980s Fleetwood Mac Stevie Nicks out there, but for where she is, she can still sing. She tells some hilarious stories while she's doing it, but when she performs, like, she puts her heart into the mic, and you can tell. I have seen a lot of like older generation musicians on the farewell tour who you can tell that they're just doing it to get it over with, right? Like, get me to the end of the tour, give me my big ass paycheck, and let me go on to the next farewell tour. Like, Stevie Nicks wants you to go there and be able to enjoy and appreciate the music and enjoy it and appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. What can I say, dude? I'm in. You know I'm in for some Stevie Nicks. I'm always in for some Stevie Nicks. Okay, we'll get to some sports people. Jeets, one of our listeners, wants to owe you an apology a little bit. Because, Rob, I need to apologize to you. I previously said the Braves couldn't win the ACC. I was wrong. They could win the ACC. And at least, though, that's a stretch. The Fishers be good. So I am sorry.
So first off, no apologies necessary. I'm used to being right a lot. I don't need them anymore. All right. Second off, no, hey, let's talk about the Fish here for just a minute, because I do have to give him credit. I've got a bet going with our old friend Jake Hassan, Cody
Love
Decker.
me some Jake Hassan.
We all love some Jake Hassan. And the bet is, and I know you'll appreciate this more than anybody, Jake Hassan's a Chicago guy, for those of you that are maybe new to our world. And these people from Chicago love the city of Chicago. It's next up on the travel list for the wife and I. We're talking about figuring out how to get out there and visit them at some point.
What a place.
I love Chicago. The music's good. The food's good, except deep dish pizza, which sucks and is not pizza. It's a casserole. Shut your stupid mouth. The sports exist. We'll talk about all that later. But there is one thing the city of Chicago prides itself in that I'll never understand, and it is this absolute ash juice piss water they call Malort. Gross. They love some Malort.
I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. It's truly I have equated. You know what it is? I've always said about our other favorite thing in the world, Vegemite. It's like eating a dead body. This would be like drinking the dead body's fluids on the way out.
Yeah. Malort's garbage. I describe it as if you were to liquefy very well used tractor trailer tires, and then you were to distill it with the sadness of Chicago fans every time Jerry Reinsdorf comes on TV, and mix those flavors, you would have Malort. That's what it would be. So Hassan and I had a bet going, because I told him he's all in on the Miami Marlins winning the NL East this year, which I said, okay, yes, I'm a Braves guy, but man, the Braves, the Phillies, and the Mets, even though they are eventually going to Mets LOL, and we'll talk about that later, there are 3 teams in that division, as far as I'm concerned, better than the Miami Marlins. I'm not saying they're going to be bad. So we've got a bet, which is if the Marlins win 89 or more games, then I have got to purchase a bottle of Malort and send it to Jake Hassan. But if the Fish win 88 or fewer games, then he's got to buy a bottle of very well put together South Carolina distilled bourbon and get it sent to my house.
Ooh.
I am a little apprehensive about the run that the Miami Marlins are on right now, but I'm also going to point out about as friendly of a schedule as they could have opened with versus Atlanta, who was on a tier. The Braves have yet to lose a series, one of only two teams in Major League Baseball who can say that that is true so far. And the Mets, the Finns just fin. They're going to fish it up at some point. It's a good team. They deserve the credit. They did a hell of a job going to get some guys like O'Hearn and building these teams around what they see that they can be. But I think by the halfway point, Alcantara is going to be somewhere else. Their staff is going to be broken up because there's going to be, I think, a lot of teams looking to buy starting pitching, of which the Atlanta Braves will be one. I think what has been the strength of the Fish early, they will sell out around the deadline. I think you'll see a second half play. I think the NL East is a three-way race between Atlanta, New York, and Philly. The New York Mets will eventually slam their own genitalia in the door as they do annually. And the question is, and can the Braves stay in the hunt long enough to get back Spencer Strider and the rest of the mass unit of starting pitchers?
Yeah. But I want to ask you about that because I that's driving me nuts. Lucas Giolito is available. Nestor Cortez, there are some names out there that can help bolster this staff, at least for the time being.
So it's a weird spot because a week and a half ago, Deck, you and I were on the same page when we had this conversation. I said the same thing. And I do have the thought going that the Braves aren't the only team that needs some depth. And the fact that Giolito and Cortez and some of these other guys are still free agents makes me wonder, what do these GMs know that you and I don't? What's happened with Lucas Giolito behind the scenes that is preventing him from being on a roster? Because if he's good enough to be on a roster, I think he would be. But here's the thing. The Braves without Strider and without Hurston Waldrop and without all these guys who are, I think three of the starting five-man rotation for Atlanta are all on IL to start the season. And yet, despite that, I got Grant Holmes out there pitching gems. I got Reynaldo Lopez out there pitching gems. I've got like guys that were supposed to be our depth guys bouncing up and down, are lights out. Decker, the Atlanta Braves have the lowest ERA in baseball. Granted, we're 13, 14 games into the season. Like, this isn't July and we're having the same conversation.
No, they're eight.
But
they're
it
what,
is a
8
dozen
and 4,
games
8 and 5 right now. They're actually, let's take a look. They're 8-5. They're 8-5 right now.
Yeah, 8-5 on the top of that division. Let's keep it a buck. Two of those losses, maybe three. 2 or 3 of those losses. In fact, I would say the back 2 at Arizona and the first one they lost at the Angels. They split a 4-gamer 2-2 with the Diamondbacks. They took 2 out of the 3 against the A's. All 3 of those losses, in my opinion, Decker, those losses were because the bats didn't show up. You had gems out of guys, with the exception of Chris Sale, who got banged up pretty good. He had one bad start. Outside of that, I think all the other losses, they were 1-run, low-scoring losses because the offense that put up 1,000, I think the Braves were, through the first 8 games, they were like plus 29 in the run differential. The bats went to sleep and they were losing those 2-1, 3-2 games. As soon as the bats came back awake for games 2 and 3 against the Angels, they were right back. Look, I just needed like a baseline league average performance out of the 5-man that we had to carry in with all the dudes on the IL. And so we're 8-5 up top of the division with the best ERA in baseball. Man, if those guys carry, not only does that keep you in the spot where we needed to be, Dicker, but then you can start going, okay, do we push Spencer Strider to return back a week or two? Do we get really work?
I mean, it's a lovely idea. No, it's a lovely idea, but if you're going to give him those innings in the minor leagues, I'd rather just have Spencer Strider doing it in the big leagues if that's the case. I'd rather just get his workload going there, especially because, listen, I'm looking at this division. I don't see this division as a juggernaut. I'll freely admit this, man. You mentioned you wondering if the Phillies are going to age out. I think they already have. I think they've already missed the window, and I think they are maybe at best the 3rd best team in this division. that's because I'm still not ready to jump on the Marlins bandwagon right now. Just like you. It's early in the season. They're 8-5. They're playing fantastic. Their pitching staff is great, but I'm inclined to have the same exact feeling that you have about the Marlins. And that's just in a few months. That pitching staff, all those sexy pieces. You know how many teams are going to if Sandy Alcantara is going to be exactly this version of Sandy Alcantara, the one that was the best pitcher in baseball 3 years ago, you're telling me he's going to be this? There are teams that are going to throw the farm at this team. Now, I don't know. It's not going to be like Paul Skeens type of guys, but trust me, the Marlins will take some top-tier prospects. They're building to something actually quite interesting at the moment. I'm looking forward to seeing what the Marlins do. And by the way, the Marlins are only spending $63 million on their payroll this year. It's like a laughably low number. But I want to ask you about this because it seems like the most impressive thing about your team right now is your manager. I give you Exhibit A. So what are your thoughts on Walt Weiss being the one that was able to successfully take down Jorge Soler? And I don't need to tell you this. So Jorge Soler, big guy, not small man, scary. In fact, Lopez, I kind of got to hand it to you, man. Like, I know it was a really bad move for you to keep that ball in your head and punch him in the face with the ball. That really is assault. That's a bit of a bitch move. But with the exception of that, the fact that you kind of stood your ground with Jorge Soler coming towards you, listen, I'll fight anybody if it needs to happen, but I'll freely admit Jorge Soler would not have been my first choice.
Jorge Soler, I went and looked it up. Now, it's a weird spot, Deck, because I will take you back to the 2021 World Series when the Atlanta Braves won their last championship against the Houston Astros in Game 6 when Jorge Soler hit a home run ball that effectively destroyed the morale of the Astros. Because that ball, I am an hour and 45 minutes away from the Battery, and that ball landed in my backyard. That's how far that dude hit that ball. Soler is a dude that, despite that, still love the guy because that run that he helped the boys go on to win a World Series was iconic. And listen, it's baseball, it's sports, it's the highest level, it's competitive, it's gonna happen, whatever. I got two takeaways. Number one, Jorge Soler, I looked it up. We had him listed as 6'3", 235. But we also know that once the ABS came in, all of a sudden, everybody in Major League Baseball shrank by 2x, by 2 inches.
Way tinier all of a sudden, which really pissed me off because I am 5'11", and I was listed at 5. I could have been 6'2". I would have made money.
Soler ain't no less than 6'4", 235, and built, as we say down here in the South, like a brick shithouse. All right, the man is a muscle machine. So, number one, Lopez didn't handle it the smartest way because you kept the glove on, which is kind of like when a football player gets in a fight and he takes the helmet off. No. Leave it on. Leave it on. You're going to get punched in the mouth. Leave it on. It'll hurt less. He left the glove on, which is the opposite, because if I got to throw a left, if I got to throw a jab there, I don't want padding on it. And then holding the baseball, damn good way to break your fingers, man, because if he throws that punch holding the baseball and it connects with anything solid, now all of a sudden, instead of being out for the last 3 innings in a 5-game suspension, you're out 3 months with a broken finger, and who the hell knows if you're going to come back with the ability to grip the ball the way you need to throw it again. Now, I agree. Way to hold your ground against an absolute machine coming at you in Soler. But Walt Weiss is the story here. Walt Weiss was a guy that when Atlanta hired him to replace Brian Snitker last year, who Decker can tell you because we were on the air for many years of the Snitker era. Brian Snitker, who I will appreciate forever, lifelong braver. He was in the organization for legitimately like 50 years, won us the World Series as manager, yada, yada, yada. That's all awesome. And I love the dude. But it got to a point where, like, I was playing a drinking game during Braves game, which is if they put Snitker on air and his eyes are closed, I have to drink. I went to the hospital 4 times with alcohol poisoning because my man was taking mid-game siestas during day games. Walt Weiss comes in, and I'm like, damn it, dude, did we just hire Brian Snitker 2.0? Did we just hire the same guy over again? Absolutely not. Absolutely. This dude has been, forget We can talk about the management. And I got to tell you, I'm not even unhappy about the management and the personnel decisions on the field. These guys seem to want to go to war for Walt Weiss. And then it's not just that he went after Jorge Soler to protect his pitcher. It's the two things he did in doing so, Deck. First off, absolute precision form tackle. He got the head
Phenomenal.
on the hip. He got the back of the legs. He lifted. He drove to the ground. It was a well-executed open field tackle, double leg takedown. But it's what he did after. Again, my 67-year-old manager took down Jorge Soler by himself. Perfect form tackle. After he did it, if you watch that clip again, Deck, what you will see is Walt Weiss then climbed up and actually laid on the head of Jorge Soler to protect him from getting hit in the head or kicked or whatever. He actually put his body on top and around Jorge Soler until everybody cleared out of the way. So he took the dude down to end the fight, but then he actually protected him from getting hurt by any stray fist or feet kicks or whatever.
Mhm.
Brother, it's rare that you say something like this. My opinion went from, okay, Walt Weiss, to I'll run through a brick wall for this dude. If he is willing to get his ass in the ring with Jorge Soler at 6'5", 235, but then he also makes sure that that guy does not get hurt in the fray, that's exactly the type of dude I want out front of the organization. I mean it. I was blown away by that.
Well, Rob, let's do me a little favor. We're going to switch things up today. Instead of going over to the quick hitters, let's go over to Shiggles, because there's something baseball related that I, myself, am shiggling about. Rob, you'll notice one thing that's always said, especially every playoffs. They're like, oh my God, you know what? I'm so tired of these national broadcast teams. I'm so sick of these guys that are, that are homers for certain teams and yada, yada, yada. We should have our local broadcast guys able to actually call the games on these major networks. Okay, that's a nice pie in the sky idea to give people these opportunities, but you got to understand these are major networks that are being paid major deals. They want to control their announcing staff. That's just the way it is. That's why you spend all this money, yada, 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 yada. That being said, there is an aspect to it where I do want to change my mind on that, where I'm like, God, is there a way we can do this? Because I can't stress this enough. Last night, we had ourselves a game between the San Diego Padres and the Colorado Rockies. By the way, the Colorado Rockies off to a decent start so far this season. I know it's weird to say that, but they're 6-7 right now. They were 500 last night. I never expect the Rockies to win 6 games within the first 2 months. So this is actually a hell of a step forward for this organization. Young team. They really think they have a decently bright future in the next couple of years. They got a new front office, a new GM. Maybe there's something good happening for the Rockies. That being said, I would like you to hear the walk-off grand slam call from the San Diego Padres, Don Orsillo.
Bogey! Left field! Back! Slam Diego to walk it off! Bogey goes boom! Into a sea of San Diegans!
Electric, loud, really, really enjoyable. Would you like to hear the Rockies call?
So much.
Is the crafty righty.
Yes.
Everything's below the speed limit. But he does get some rollover ground balls. Trying to get one here. Not going to happen. In fact, this is going to be a walk-off grand slam.
That was straight up Harry Doyle in Major League, and he's at the plate right now. Let's see if Vaughn can hit one by him. Crack of the bat. Oh, shit.
Who the hell cares? Nobody's listening anyways. That's so good. Listen, I spent the money because I'm a dumbass. I spent the money on getting Braves Vision this year, so it's the MLB.TV version of the Braves. But the nice thing about doing it that way is you get team announcers. You get a team announce team. And I'll tell you, the Braves have put together a pretty good one from the field level reporting all the way up. Having great local announcing to me, is the absolute best thing going, man. It just is. Like, if it's not my team, I'll listen to the national broadcast. But if you can listen to home away feeds, it's the way to go. That right there is it's the perfect example of why. Because if you are a San Diego Fathers fan, whether you are jumping through the roof, it is an old school couch pop, as the wrestling fans love to call it. But if you are a Rockies fan listening to Xander Bogaerts walk off, like, that's depression. If I was a therapist, I would just play that clip. Emotionally, do you feel like this?
Oh, emotional damage. Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. What are you shilling about today, my guy?
This morning, I got the opportunity to head over to Floor Field in lovely downtown Greenville, South Carolina. The Greenville Drive are the affiliate of the Boston Red Sox. And I got an opportunity for the first time in I don't know how many years to go out and on an actual professional baseball field, break out the wooden bat and take some BP. They were kind enough to let me and a couple of the other boys in my office go take some BP and have a little fun. And I went out there. Now, Deck, I am aware at 41 years old and not filling out Schmedium t-shirts like you do, that I don't have clear the green monster power and left like I might have way back in the day. But I thought to myself, Decker, if I can walk out of this park hitting the green, for those of you that don't know, Floor Field here in Greenville is the field and the wall are a 1-to-1 of Fenway Park.
They try to do that. Yeah, they try to do that at every single minor league park. They have that in Double A Portland, I believe. Is Greenville Drive low A or high A now?
We are high A, if I recall correctly. Yeah. So like when a Bo Sock goes on a rehab assignment, they start with us before they check click up a level. So it's a 1-to-1 replica of the field at Fenway. So I stepped up, Cody Decker, thinking to my 41-year-old very average white self, you know what? I know I'm not going to clear the wall, but if I can just get one to the scoreboard on the monster in the air, if I can just hit the monster on the fly, I'm going to feel real good about myself. I need you to know two things. It took me 12 hacks, and I did it. I hit that wait a minute. It's not as glamorous as you think. I hit that far above the ground off the monster. All right, I'm talking 3 inches of clearance to hit the wall.
That's impressive. That's not nothing, dude.
I was happy. I also need you to know that after those 12 hacks, I can't lift my elbow above my shoulder on either arm right now. It's just they're shot, they're done. The point that I'm making is twofold. Number one, you fellas like me that are on the wrong side of 40 and going downhill, just work your way back into it, all right? Unless you're like Deck and you're in the gym, right? We got to work our way back into it. And to you young bucks out there, specifically you fellas that are maybe just getting into your 30s, you're still feeling really good, I need you to know, take care of yourselves, because when you become an old, fat, worthless sack of crap like myself, where swinging a baseball bat 12 times wrecks you for 2 to 4 weeks afterwards, it doesn't just get better. In fact, quite the opposite. It only gets worse. Everything hurts, and I am dying right now to get one ball 3 inches off the base of the monster, which, by the way, is only like 265 to left, dude. It's not like I was going 320 and hitting the wall. No, that's a short porch that far off the bottom.
Stop. Listen. I know how this goes. It's supposed to be adversarial. I mean, it's supposed to be like, well, that ain't shit. No, bullshit, buddy. That's actually impressive. Stop trying to shit on your accomplishment. You hit a ball off the monster. I don't give a shit if it was 300 feet away. That is an accomplishment for a guy that doesn't swing a bat, never played a day of pro ball. Dude, I'm kind of proud of you. That ain't bad, bro.
I would like to put it in notice that the shiggle here is when I got one to hit the wall, and now I feel like shit and will for the next week and a half. That's a shiggle. Yeah, I have. We're gonna talk about them. So let's go. Let's go.
Okay, let's just go one by one because we gave a letter grade yesterday, and I think I might have. I don't know if I've changed my mind yet. I don't know where I'm at yet, but I want your opinion, obviously. So here we go. Royals.
Dude, it's I'm gonna say it's a C. Like it's fine.
But
premise,
it looks like the old City Connects, only but there's pink added, and I don't get it.
Listen, I'm fine. I'm fine with the pink. I'm fine with neon. I'm fine with flashy. The thing is,
I like the hat.
What's the connect part of the City Connect, right? Like to me,
it's the fountain thing. It's like City of Fountains, and that's what the whole thing is supposed to represent, the fountain thing.
I mean, okay, you got, let's call it what it is. That I got 3 smiley faces over 3 R's that are connected. Like that's what I'm looking at here. Like, okay.
Holy shit, I never saw it that way.
You didn't see the smiley faces.
It does look like smiley faces.
Yeah, it's 3 smiley faces.
Oh, now I hate the hat.
Yeah, there it is. So now I do have to say, for the sake of the grade, let's point out that the City Connect, the Connect in City Connect should matter most and maybe only to the people from that city, right? Like it should mean something to the people from that city.
Yeah.
I've never even been to Kansas. I've never been to either Kansas. There's 2 Kansas cities and I haven't been to either one of them yet. So I don't know if it connects with the people in Kansas City. And if it does and they give it an A, that's great. That's awesome. That's fantastic. But that looks like, sincerely, it looks like a junior in high school's graphic design project that they forgot about was due on Monday. And so they put it together at 11:45 Sunday night in Canva and they slapped it on a jersey. If y'all love it, that's spectacular. It's just a very average effort, in my opinion.
How about this one? This is the Pirates. I actually really like it, but there's nothing about it that's City Connect, and I just think it looks like a good Pirates uniform they should just add to the rotation. Outside of that, there's nothing about this that's Pittsburgh.
Completely agree. That was the exact same thought I had. It is a dope ass jersey.
I like it.
For a team named the Pirates.
Yep.
But what does it connect to? Like, first, I need you to know the first thing I did was I looked at like the little in the bottom of the letters where there's a little arches and all that. I'm like, okay, maybe that's like a Pittsburgh skyline. It's not. It's a dope ass jersey for a team named the Pirates. But at this point, it should just be called the Team Name Connect jersey because that's all it is.
Yes, perfect. I completely agree. How about this one? Dude, did the Rangers even try? This is a shitty junior college jersey. This would look bad if Texas wore this as a fucking alternate. This is hideous.
I have 2 thoughts on it. All right, let's start with this one. I actually don't mind the Tejas with the J. I think that's a cool cultural acknowledgement. I think that's great. The problem is I'm going to bring it back again, just like go into Canva and ask for the most it's athlete font. Like the name of that font would just be athletics, right? Mm-hmm. And you just put it on the chest. You put a T on the hat. I agree with you. But my favorite part is this. Now, for those of you who haven't followed me throughout my career, while I love the NFL and Major League Baseball, because of the area I grew up broadcasting in the Deep South, the majority of what I've always done and covered has been college football. Do you think that the folks in Texas are going to be really happy that they're dressed like the Oklahoma Boomer Sooners when they take the field in that jersey? Because they are. Yep.
I don't think they thought that through, did they?
Yep, I know.
They really didn't think that through at
all.
Nope. Holy hell, it really does. It really does. Huh. All right, I'm only going to bring up one more because Rob Brown, listen, we're talking about City Connects. I'm going to give one criticism to this jersey, and it's that it's like the Pirate jersey. It's sweet. Not sure how it's City Connects, but man, this needs to be put in your team's rotation, bro. The powdered blue Atlanta unis are just as sick as they get. I love this jersey. Again, I would say it's a fail as when it comes to City Connect, quote unquote. But as far as sweet jerseys that should always be used by the Atlanta Braves at least once a week, and I can definitely see Outcast having an absolute reunion, rocking the living shit out of these. Yes, please. I love these.
Okay, so I got a couple of things for you, and I will start with this. I fully and entirely acknowledge the fact that this one is one that in order for it to be City Connect, you kind of got to know what the details are in it. First off, I show to you the 1980 Atlanta Braves powder blue unis, which this is based off on.
Yes.
And you will notice that back in the day, we used the uppercase script A, and on that one deck, we use the lowercase script A.
Mm-hmm.
That lowercase script A is the A that has kind of become the logo of the city of Atlanta, not just the Braves. Like if you go to downtown Atlanta, that A is all over the place. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the connect. The second thing is, and you can't see it in that picture, but the on the sleeves and on the cap, ATL is written in 3 boxes with the ATL in it. Mm-hmm. That box is the old logo of TBS, where Braves back in the 80s.
Yes. Of
okay,
course.
So they made a TBS logo version with the ATL in it, and then used the new era script A while giving a cap tip to back when the Braves were, if you'll pardon the expression, America's team in the 80s into the 90s when they officially switched to the gray and white predominantly. I will say this from an outside standpoint. 10,000% agree that if you didn't know the little details, it just looks like a great Atlanta jersey because, let's be honest, powder blue is a spectacular color to rock on a baseball diamond.
Always, my guy.
Where this is a City Connect is that it connects to the details that people from Atlanta and Braves historians will know. Here is one thing I will say about why that jersey to me kicks ass. Because I've been watching the people of Wisconsin have a riot that nobody says Wisco. At least we didn't do that, okay?
This is dog shit. This is dog shit. It's horrible. It's so bad. One of my best friends, dude, is from Madison, and he sent me a photo of it. He's like, what even the fuck is this?
Yeah, listen, I get it. Ours just kind of look like generic Atlanta unis. The details are where you find the City Connect and City Connect. There is one thing to have, okay, Pittsburgh, sweet jersey, even though it doesn't connect to the city. There's not even the details for that. That's one thing. You made a great Pirates jersey. Braves, you made a great Atlanta jersey that, like, you really got to understand the lore. I'm going to go full sci-fi D&D nerd. You got to know the lore to get where the City Connect is. I have watched everyone I know and everyone I follow in social media from or that has ever been to Wisconsin see that jersey and go, nobody fucking says Wisco. Nobody says that. What are we doing? And it's hilarious.
I hate it so much. It's amazing. All right. By the way, let's just go ahead. We're just going to kind of finish the show out with quick hitters until we go ahead and reflect. So let's just go ahead and do that. My guy, you have already seen the trailer for Supergirl. I've seen the trailer for Supergirl a dozen times. I'm really excited for this movie. Now, do I think it looks a little too Guardians of the Galaxy? Yes, I do. But I'm going to be willing to ignore that because I also happen to love Guardians of the Galaxy. So what am I complaining about? Here's the other thing. Jason Momoa is the single greatest casting of a character of all time. You would think Lobo was based on Jason Momoa. That's how perfect this casting is. Do you think there are any other perfect castings in the world of superhero movies that are just waiting to happen?
Oh, that is an excellent question. Because I think there's been in the entire DCU/MCU, there have been 2 or 3. Tony Stark had to be Robert Downey Jr. Like it just had to be him.
It was perfect.
I know there were a lot of you that wanted the Tom Cruise Iron Man. Trust me, because of what Tony Stark is, it needed to be RDJ. I got to be honest, like, didn't sell me at first, but the more, especially the roller coaster we've been on, Hemsworth is Thor, just like it stumbled into that. Like, that's his character. That's just who it needed to be. Lobo as Momoa is exactly right. I got to tell you, like, I need some time to think about that. It's a great question. And then it depends on, like, how far down the rabbit hole of obscure superheroes and villains do we want to go? Because I'll tell you, like, I didn't think Pedro Pascal was the right guy to play Reed Richards, but then I saw the Fantastic Four and I'm like, nope, nailed it. Like, I'm not saying there are a couple of them that now when I see that celebrity, they are the hero, right? Like I see RDJ, he is Iron Man at this point. He is Tony Stark. Pedro's not that guy with Reed. I think we could have another Reed. Like I thought Jim Halpert when he made his very brief cameo.
Agreed. And we all wanted it. We all wanted that casting too.
Exactly. I would need a few minutes because I don't know the answer to that, but I think that really speaks to how damn good Momoa and RDJ are as the casting of their particular characters.
Can I give you mine? And I have one that's kind of obvious, but the reason why I'm honestly like don't want it is because he's played too many comic book characters, and that of course is Josh Brolin as Batman is honest to God perfect. Like he really would be a perfect Batman. That being said, you know who I want to see play Batman, especially if it's an older Batman? Liev Schreiber.
Okay.
Big dude. He's got the look for it. He could be a perfect older Batman. You could definitely see him training a young Damian Wayne. Are you kidding me? Give me this movie. Give me this movie yesterday.
I am here for that. The what was the I'm blanking right now. The animated series of Batman where Bruce Wayne's old and he's training Damian to be the new Batman.
Are you thinking Batman Beyond?
It wasn't Beyond. Damn, now I got to look it up. Now
find it, send it because I would like to watch that, by the way. Also, I can't wait to see Lanterns. I'm starting to think that Kyle Chandler is going to be the perfect casting for Hal Jordan. All right. Have you seen the greatest giveaway that's about to happen over there on the south side of Chicago? Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Chicago Pope hat. Look at it, Rob Brown.
Yeah.
Look at it in all of its papal glory.
Yeah. As a former Catholic, that's pretty good. That's pretty good giveaway.
Gold.
First off, as a former Catholic who has left the Catholic religion, I got a lot of respect for this Pope. Like I really do. I think this Pope's doing a really good job. Good. I think this Pope has been outspoken in places that previous popes have been maybe hesitant to stick their nose, and this Pope's like, no, I'm gonna talk about it, and I respect the hell out of that. And on top of that, I think it's fantastic every time we get one of these clips that somebody goes to the Vatican and they're like, hey, go Sox, and you can see it turn back on for a minute where he's like, hey, yeah, go Sox. Like you see that Chicago. I dig that. That's a really, really good giveaway. Like that's a hard one to top.
Can I and I want to tell you this one. You know how the NBA is dealing with such a difficult problem apparently with all the tanking and yada 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 tanking. We got to stop tanking, and now it's leaving. You know, we already solved the MVP situation by making a 65 game threshold, which obviously is now proving to be a bad idea. Didn't work, and now we're getting ready to deal with a new thing. They're trying to try and put in this sanction or try this, try that, whatever it can do to discourage teams from tanking. One person on Reddit, however, might have come up with the most brilliant idea for an anti-tanking system. Are you ready? Are you ready, Rob Brown, for dynamic beer pricing?
You know, I thought about this because I saw not too long ago. I don't know if you've seen this before. There was a bar somewhere, and I can't remember what it was, but there was a bar somewhere that actually did this, and it was cool. Above their bar, they had like a stock ticker with all the beers on it. And as people bought one beer, the price of that beer went up. But as people bought less of the other beers, the price. So it was funny. We were trading beers, right?
I like it. That's pretty funny. Here is the suggestion. You ready to hear how this is going to work?
Yes, please.
Every team starts the season by selling their beer for $10 a piece. Team will then increase the cost of beer by 35 cents for each win and decrease the cost of beer by 20 cents for each loss. Here's how the numbers would be shaking out right now. For team win-loss beer prices right now, the Thunder 62-16. Their beer prices right now, because they are the best team in the NBA, would be $22.70 right now. San Antonio, it would be $21.55 for a beer. Pistons, they get to sell their beer at $18.70. Where you look at the other end right now, the Washington Wizards, you can get a beer for minus 10 cents. Beer giveaway, baby. You make a team give away their beer, they ain't gonna lose this many fucking games. I love this idea. Will it ever happen? No. But yes, dynamic beer pricing. The Indiana Pacers, they be selling their beers right now for 50 cents a pop. Sacramento Kings, $1.95 a pop. Hell, this actually might be brilliant. Never mind. You might be able to get people to buy tickets if you're selling 50 cent a pop beer tickets.
Dude, listen, as a fan of the New Orleans Pelicans, like, great, your boys going down to New Orleans for a lot more beer.
$3.15, my guy.
So, I work for many years in professional sports. Like, what are we more people in the building? My answer has always been, make stuff be beautiful. Big-headed pencil protector jackass nerds in charge. I'm a jackass nerd. I can say what I want to go into the analytics. If you want people to love and support your teams, there are two ways to do it. Number one, you give them a damn good team. People don't care what it costs to be able to show off that they love a good team. It was a hell of a lot easier for me to buy $35 hats and $65 polos the year after the Saints won the Super Bowl than it is now when we ain't sniffed one since 2019, okay? Second thing, if you can't have a great team, then you make everything you sell cheaper. Just make it where it's affordable to be a fan. But here's what I know for a fact, Decker. I may or not have told you this story. 2 weeks ago when MLB kicked off, I got on Reddit because I wanted to see what the Braves Vision thing was. And somebody asked on an AMA that the Braves official team account was hosting, are we going to be blacked out of any games if I pay you for the Braves Vision? And the Braves official team account said, we have to admit that the MLB broadcast rules are confusing to us. An MLB team said, we don't know the broadcast rules. We can't tell our fans yes or no whether you'll be blacked out. We don't know the rules. Here's what I'm saying. You have made watching the game expensive for me, because if I want to watch every Braves game, I got to pay $100 and whatever dollars it is to the Braves and MLB TV. But I got to have Peacock for 3 or 4 games. I got to have ESPN Plus for 3-4 games. I got to have cable Max for 3-4 games. Right. And so it's yes, baseball's popularity is stable. In fact, I even read it's actually increasing the last couple of years, and that's great. But it could be on a rise up a mountain right now if you didn't make it so damn expensive to do everything. So to take this back to where we started, I am so much more likely, if let's say I live in New Orleans and the Pelicans are just straight booty cheeks, I am so much more likely to go to a game if the tickets are $20 instead of $50. And if I'm going to get a $3.50 beer instead of a $17 12-ounce beer, I'm more likely to go. I actually like that. I think as funny as it is, it's a really good idea.
It's not a bad idea.
Because you are giving the fans a reward for having to watch your shitty basketball team you refuse to change.
All right, man. It's been a fun hour. What do you say we go ahead and reflect? Rob Brown, here's what I'm reflecting on. And it's something you and I have talked about, actually quite ad nauseum for the last couple of weeks on Fridays. And here's the deal. I freely admit, and we actually borderline argued 2 weeks ago. I like the ABS system. It's fun. I've really enjoyed it. But I also said in 2 weeks, I am going to check back. And guess what? It's been 2 weeks. And when are the umpires just going to say uncle? I think it's only a matter of time before they just go, let's just make it automated. Because listen, some of these calls are just like, it's a millimeter, it's 2 millimeters. Now the other ones are fucking right down the middle and like obvious and 3 inches off the plate. At some point, I think the umpires need to say uncle. And let's just make every pitch sponsored by T-Mobile. That way everyone makes money, okay? Don't worry about the ABS challenge system. The ABS system can just be sponsored by T-Mobile. Let's just go ahead and play baseball, guys.
Yes! The thing I've been saying the whole time I've been talking to
I
you.
still like it. Wait. I want to make this abundantly clear. I still like it. But eventually, let's just go ahead and do it, guys.
Yeah. So here's what I've got, because I was bored, and I will acknowledge that this is via a dude on Reddit, so it might be totally wrong, but based on what I've watched, this feels about accurate to me.
Mm-hmm.
The average miss distance of a call. So over the course of the season to this point, Deck, we're, like we said, 15 games in.
Mm-hmm.
The average miss distance, either ball or strike. Take a stab. What's the average miss distance of an overturned ABS call right now?
The average miss distance, like of everything? God.
Yep.
I'm going to say 1.5 inches.
That is exactly the correct answer.
Wow, look at me.
That is exactly, it is one. The average miss distance is 1.5 inches. Now, in fairness, in the real world, 1.5 inches is a lot, ladies. All right, it's a lot of inches. Stop bitching about it.
If you throw an extra 1.5 inches on things, that damage can be done for certain people.
100%.
I'm told.
But in the real world, when you're missing balls that are this far off the plate or that far inside the zone, that seems just make the switch, because here's the thing. Especially when we get later, I watched the other day my sweet baby boy Matt Olson not challenge a pitch that was very clearly a ball called a strike, because they had one left, and you could tell the strategy became, we want to save this bottom 9, and we really want to save it for our pitcher and our catcher. Now, in fairness, Jonah Heim has been pretty good about getting his challenge. He started off ass. He was like 0 for 5 to start, but he's hit like 4 or 5 challenges in a row.
Nice.
And you can tell the strategy for Atlanta is one batter gets to make a challenge, but if we lose it, you're saving the last one for either Drake Baldwin or Jonah Heim to make a save later in the game, right? Brother, that means that there's a shitload of pitches that are very clearly balls or very clearly strikes called the opposite that just aren't getting challenged, which means we still have a game that is infected and infested by bad calls that can be fixed. Scratch that are being gotten right somewhere else and not mattering at all. And that's horse crap as far as I'm concerned. Just do it now and let's get it over with, please. I'm begging you.
Listen. But then again, you just mentioned that aspect of Matt Olson kind of doing a strategy. You kind of got to like it, dude. And by the way, it also is keeping catchers very much in the loop when it comes to framing. It's becoming even more of an art now, because now it's like we're finding out a new skill that catchers need to have, and that's simply having mastering of the zone themselves.
Yeah, listen,
I like it.
I enjoyed. There are elements of the current ABS I enjoy. I'm not arguing with that. I have enjoyed watching Baldwin and Heim, the two catchers who are kind of switching catching / DHing for Atlanta. I have enjoyed watching them kind of sharpen how and when and what they want to challenge, and start to recognize, like, it's as much about how umpires are seeing the pitches of a particular pitcher as much as it is, hey, did that hit or did it not? But again, as fun as that little is, it's a little side quest to getting us to my main objective of balls are balls and strikes are strikes, and we should not be spending this much time questioning it. Just get it right and let's play the damn game.
I hear you. That being said, still like it, but at some point it's got to go. All right. What are you reflecting on, my guy?
I'm a big The Masters fan. I'm a big golf guy. I love the Masters. It was fantastic to sit and watch yesterday. In fact, as soon as we're done here, I'll be flipping back over to watch that coverage. The Masters are one of a very small number of events that, like, puts baseball on my little screen over here because the golf tournament's going on my big screen over here. Wednesday at the Masters it's supposed to be fun. Half the day is spent watching golfers see if they can hit a golf ball and skip it across a lake like a stone. All right. I saw the people bitching and moaning that Jason Kelsey and Kevin Hart and all these people were out on the golf course at Augusta. Oh, don't
They're
turn
very
it
mad
into
about
a comedy show. Guys, here's what matters. What we complained about when we talked about opening day baseball with Bert Kreischer and Jay and Jimmy Uso and all that was that we made the game itself centered around the entertainment aspect. Don't get me wrong. I think a lot of what ESPN and these companies are doing with sports aren't necessarily good.
Mm-hmm.
But the Masters are fine because if you tune in on Thursday, it's not about Bert Kreischer and Jay Uso and Kevin Hart and Jason Kelsey. It's the purest broadcast of athletes playing the sport that you're going to find anywhere. Now, the takeaway I had was when I watch Wednesday and I'm watching the par threes and I'm watching the welcome to the Masters when the guys are out there, they're on the driving range and Kelsey's eating a sandwich and Kevin Hart's making his jokes about being short because there's only been 12 years of those. Eventually they'll not be funny anymore, but not yet, Kev.
Stop it. It's hilarious.
Every time.
Have you seen how not tall he is? Classic. Keep going.
So the thought I had was I am going to let that particular angle of the Masters broadcast go without bitching about it and complaining about it because Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but really specifically Saturday and Sunday when it moves to CBS, it is probably, Deck. No, not probably. It is definitively the only major American sporting event that it truly is broadcasted about the sport itself and not all the other bullshit that goes on around it. It is the one major American sporting event that they go, we're not going to try to jam commercials down your throat. We're not going to have celebrity. We're not going to give you PA and live read endorsement scripts all game. We're not going to shove product in your face. The Masters says from the moment we go live until Sunday when somebody puts on that green jacket, we're just going to talk. We're going to show you golf. We're going to show you golf. We're going to play calming little piano music. You're going to be able to hear the mockingbirds and the wrens. We're going to have golfers playing golf. Ladies and gentlemen, do not bitch, whine, complain, and moan at the Masters. Thank them for being the only organization, no matter what you think about Augusta National Golf Course and its shady behind-the-scene practices and the fact that they refuse to let women in, which is bullshit. We'll talk about that later. Thank them at the very least for the fact that it is, and I mean it when I say it, Deck, the last remaining sporting event with a pure broadcast where the sport is the star, not the rest of the crap around it.
I agree with you on that, but it just reminds me how stuffy golf can still be to this point. By the way, Shota Imanaga just had a no-hitter going into the seventh, immediately gives up a single and then a 2-run home run. Pirates are up 2-0. By the way, have you noticed something about the city of Chicago right now in their sports before we go away? How one team is in last place and it's not named the Chicago White Sox?
It is not the Chicago White Sox, a team that you and I have been lambasting together for the better part of a half effing decade. At this point, though, I do have to ask the question, Bulls fans, y'all good? Y'all good? Y'all all right? Y'all doing okay?
Guys, this has been fun as always. Rob Brown, you know what I think of you. You're one of the greatest broadcasters I've ever had the luxury of knowing, a great friend, a wonderful guy, a hell of a musician, by the way. Check out Rob's band when you get a chance. Rob, where can people find you? And of course, I got to talk to you after this because you're talking about going to Chicago. My guy, this June, I think you and Mrs. Brown need to fly your way to Los Angeles, and I'll tell you why.
Turns out not terribly long ago that one particular airline, who I should not name until they're ready to sponsor a flight for Mr. and Mrs. Myers-Brown to take their ass out there is now a direct flight from Greenville, South Carolina to Los Angeles, California. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just saying, I think Deck and I should do an in-person together broadcast this summer. Who's in?
I'm just saying, I'm in, you're in, everybody's in, baby. Rob Brown, did you just tear your rotator cuff broadcasting?
Yeah, well, again, I did swing a baseball bat 12 times earlier. That's, I hate everything, Decker. I hate getting old. It sucks ass so much.
Guys, like, share, and subscribe wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And, of course, like, share, and subscribe right here on Instagram. Right, and check us out on Instagram. Like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe on Twitch. Yada, 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 yada. We'll be back here again live Monday right here on YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram with Michelle Beadle in tow. What a day it's going to be. What a life. What a world. Rob Brown, love you. Next Friday, my guy.
I mean, I got nothing better to do. Let's do the damn thing.
Dude, I love me a Rob Brown Friday. Guys, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy some sports. Most importantly, R.I.P. Estelle Getty.